Hello everyone, I'm SaTales and today it's time for a new Blender lesson. Last time I showed you how to use the new Blender 5.0 feature of the circle array. As you liked the video and requested more videos with new features, here it is. So let's get started. This feature will help you with rendering speeds and with the viewport performance. First, select everything from the scene with A and delete it with X. Now go to Add, Mesh Cylinder. Click with the left mouse button on this part, Add Cylinder. Change the number of vertices from 32 to 8. Move it up with G plus Z plus 1 so it will be positioned on the world origin. Switch to 8 mode with Tab. Switch to selecting faces with 3 and select the top face. Scale it with S for around 0.53. Extrude it with T for around 0.9. Scale it with S for around 6.17. Extrude it with T for around 6.9. Scale it with S for around 0.045. Add 4 loops with Ctrl plus R. Bevel them with Ctrl plus B for around 0.06. Select these loops while holding left mouse button and then Alt plus Shift. If you scale them with S immediately, this will happen. Because we want to scale each loop individually, we need to change the transform pivot point. So go here and instead of median point, change it to individual origins. Now you can scale each part individually. Scale it with S for around 1.35. Now select only this bottom loop and scale it with S for around 1.37. Select this loop. Move it up with G plus Z for around 1.2. Select this loop and scale it with S for around 0.92. Switch to Object Mode with Tab, go to Object, Set Origin, Origin to 3D Cursor. Open Sidebar with 10. Change Z or height to 5 meters. Copy this Z, 0.467 from the scale or a number you get, and copy it to X and Y in scale. And apply scale with Ctrl plus A. Go to Add, Mesh, Plane. Press S plus 2 to scale it for 2. Repeat that action by pressing Shift plus R 7 more times. Apply scale with Ctrl plus A. Switch to 8 mode with Tab. Click right mouse button and choose Subdivide. Press Shift plus R 5 times to repeat the same action. Click here to turn on the proportional editing or just press O. Switch to selecting faces with 3. Select a random face, move it up with G. Scroll the mouse wheel up to increase the proportional size. Choose 3 more random faces and do the same. Don't think too much about if you did it right. This is just an example, so it doesn't need to be perfect. Switch to Object Mode with Tab, click right mouse button and choose Shade Smooth. Go to Modifiers and Modifier Generate Scatter on Surface. To scatter our trees, we need to select the tree we made, or any other model you want, as our object that will be scattered. To do that, we need to select our object in instancing. In this case, it is called cylinder because I forgot to rename it. Now our trees are scattered on our plane. You can check on Realize Instances if you want to make the data of each tree unique, which is required by some other modifiers. If you keep that option off, you can see that your polygon count remains as if you only had one tree on the scene. That is because the data of all the trees is shared. If you want fewer trees, change the density to, for example, 0.1 or even less. Now click on Transform, turn on Randomize. Here you can adjust the scale so that your trees are randomly scaled, rather than all being identical. For this example, I left the scale at 0.631. You can also randomize the rotation. I put it to 360 degrees. Now go to Data and click on plus to add a new vertex group. Rename it to density or anything else you like. Go back to modifiers and click on density and choose density. Now switch from object mode to weight paint. Change the size of the brush to 505 pixels or any other size. And draw a tree whenever you want the trees to be placed with left mouse button. For example, like this. Now we want to make a path, so we need to raise some trees. To do that, put the weight to 0 and change the size of a brush to something smaller like 290 or similar. And just draw where you want the path to be. Switch back to object mode and see how it looks. You can change the distribution and ask as you want to have more or less trees. This is just another example of how new Blender features can improve modeling in Blender. Did you think of anything else? Let me know in the comments. If you had fun learning with me, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I have a Patreon with more exclusive content, including 3D models, blend files, and sharing my experience on how to sell your 3D models, how to find clients in our quiz, etc. You can also download the free Blender guide, so feel free to check it out if you prefer text tutorials over video tutorials. It is updated regularly. There is something for both free and paid members, so don't forget to check the link in the description. And if you have any questions, write them down in the comments. Happy blending everyone, bye, see you next time!